Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S. Back to another video, of course. Hope everyone's well. Um, Fortunately, it's quite cloudy out there, but hopefully weather will pick up soon. I know I always going about the weather, but anyway, one of my goals in life is to support startups and S.M.E.s and things like that from the place I've talked about supporting, for instance, as many parts of Africa as possible. So all 54 countries and as many of the 1 billion or so people working together on startups and things like that. Similar for Asia. I don't know how many countries are in Asia, but the approximately 4 billion or so people working together somehow, I think would be pretty cool. And also like Latin America is another group I'd love to support. African countries, Asian nations, Latin American nations, and so forth to support each other. And another group I'd love to support is Ireland. So yeah, I'd love to be able to support them to create their own, like create a social enterprise that supports their own startups or helps them to start their own projects, whether that's in starting up their own businesses or things like singing, making their own songs, music, and whatever. So yeah, so I got to admit, I've never had experience of setting up a charity or anything like that. But I'd love to work with charities who share the same goal or share my ideas and see, with think tanks perhaps to talk about how these groups can come together. So yeah, I thought I'd list as I often do, like list some of my ideas about how to bring these groups together. So yeah, here you go. So number one, again, this is one of my usual 30-point list videos, hopefully. So I normally break them up into 3 parts, hence this is part 1. So number 1, I'd love to bring to help create a social enterprise that helps as many people from these backgrounds. I suppose a simple way of putting it is calling them developing countries. I support them mainly, partly because they're developing countries and partly because they are they do have a lot of poverty and all that, but also because they were colonized. So I think it'd be great to number 1, get this group together and like support like a social enterprise, that like a one-stop place which supports which brings together organizations as well who all want to support, working together as one towards supporting the social and supporting startups. A social enterprise that supports startups, and one place where people can go to, like on a website where they can get all the information and support they need, and look at access to funding and things like that for such people to start their own business and to venture and take their risk to start their own business. Number 2, I hope for these groups, as I say, to work together, so like people from Africa and Asia somehow to connect together, developing countries if you like, and also what I've called the 4 before, like Africa, all possible countries in Africa, Asia, also Aborigines, Maoris, Native Americans, and people across Asia as well. And also now I had Latin America and Ireland as well. So I'd love to somehow connect these groups again, like having a one-stop portal that supports and looks at how to create funding for these groups, and also to bring them together, as I said in the title, like building bridges between these different nations and groups, and like helping people to start their own business, maybe even from a young age. Perhaps give them seed funding so they can take that risk and have the confidence, and also have like teachers and trainers, mentors, and people like that can help them to develop their business. And number 3, again, hopefully like they'll have each other's back and support each other and help each other when they're going through a bad time, and people from those countries and areas will be able to support each other as well. And like, again, I'd love to see how they can get more funding, and banks and angel investors, venture capitalists, and people like that around the world donating to those groups. Number 4, I think it'd be great if people of colour could support those groups, and again, like if we could lobby for our taxes to go towards those groups. I know it's a bit of a controversial one I often talk about, but I think instead of supporting the wars or the weapons trade or the military industrial complex or things like that, or even the royal family or anything that historically is imperialistic, I think it'd be good to support. I say I don't want to offend anyone, as I often say, but I think instead of supporting, dare I say, the people who are burglars or who are burgling the house, I think we should support people like Iraq who are having their house burgled. So I think we should support the victims, not the perpetrators, so to speak. I hope that makes sense as ever. Number 5, again, I'd love to share ideas and work towards that common goal. And there may well be many organisations which do stuff like that. Maybe it would be great if they could all work together as one, because if you go to an organisation, sometimes it's hard to know. It's sort of, I'm contradicting myself a bit here, because I often like try and take on so many projects and things like that. But it would be good to have one place where say a person from Brazil, and maybe even a Native American from, an indigenous Brazilian, would want to set up their own business and obviously or become empowered, and they have no voice, then this can be something which could give them a voice, but also, as I say, access to capital, funding, and information. If they only have one place where they have to go, and that gives them all the information they need, possibly a website, and also perhaps investing in giving PCs and laptops to some of the poorer communities, so they can access this website, and it can give them the information they want to work towards their goal. If any individuals or groups want to support this network, then I think it'd be great to put our resources together towards one common goal, which, as I say, helps startups or help people start their own business and take that risk, take that plunge in starting their own ventures. And this could be mainly for startups, but it can also be, which are obviously in business, but it could also be like to get into singing or into YouTubing or whatever else they want to get into. So I'd love to use this platform on my YouTube channel to support that goal. And if I get enough views, I often say this, but I'd love to donate to supporting other people other people of colour or people with disadvantages to set up their own YouTube, whether that's disabled people or Indigenous Brazilians, Indigenous Americans, or people like that. Number 6, I hope to work together again with those who have those skills, and hopefully we'll work to the best of our ability and bring as many people as possible together, building bridges to support these startups and things like that, as I say, and seed investment or capital, which is much needed, obviously, to take that risk, and also give them the confidence, which I hope to come to, like mentors and things like that. Number 7, again, I think that when we work together, I think we can achieve a lot more. Part of me does think it'd be really hard to get like Africa and Asia and Latin America and places like that to work together, but I think it'd be really cool if they did, like as and looking at what they have in common, like they were colonized, most of them were colonized, or they face discrimination, or they can be developing countries, they often have problems, and many of them are republics and things like that, so hopefully they'll look at what they have in common and work together in spite of any differences. Part of me, again, would see it quite difficult for Africa and Latin America, or Asia and Latin America, to work together, but I think it would be really good to encourage the idea, and hopefully if enough people get on board, they'll support it. And also, again, places like Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, and things like that. Number 8, again, I think it'd be great to work together against imperialism and supremacy and extremism, and hopefully by working together they can tackle terrorism and white supremacy and things like that, or white supremacists, which I would class as terrorists as well. So, or also Islamic extremism or things like that. By working together, they could share intelligence, so to protect each other's resources and look out to prevent terrorist attacks by cross cooperation and things like that. Number 9, I think it'd be good if African and Asian leaders, especially African leaders, looked after their own people better, so there'd be less people risking their lives travelling by sea to escape. And also there'd be less of a brain drain, like people who are really good at technology in Africa might want to leave the country because they have more opportunities, but if they create those opportunities across Africa, then similar for Asia, of course, but then people won't, then they could prevent a brain drain. Also, I'd love to help these groups also get into things like writing or art, poetry, expression, and things like that. And number 10, I'd love to support young people from all these backgrounds I talked about. So as many parts of Asia, Africa and Asia as possible, as many of the 4 billion or so people from from Asia, and the billion or so people from Africa, and also however many people are in Latin America and Ireland, which is obviously only a small country, and also Aborigines. Like, it'd be great to support Aborigines and Maoris and people like that setting their own business up, and Native Americans. I know there are some Native Americans and probably even some Aborigines that set their own business up, but I think it'd be great to see even more and like support them through hard times, and like people to like teach young people to set their own businesses and things like that in those groups. Anyway, I'm out. Peace out.